Diane in Denmark here. Rah, rah, rah. Hooray, hooray, hooray. We made it to the end of another week. It's Friday. I don't know about you, but I've just had one of these weeks where I've really had to remind myself to put one foot in front of the other. I don't know if it's been the full moon or what's going on, but it's just been a tough week. So if you've had a tough week this week, big virtual hugs to you, and let's just keep putting one foot in front of the other together here. Anyway, I want to check in with you for 3 things today, and de toi, because this coming weekend in Denmark, big weekend for the Danes. You know, I mean, I've mentioned this before, the Danes have so many traditions, also in the summer, and this weekend it will be St. Hans, St. John's Eve. Now, I'll talk about it in a wee minute. I've made videos about it before. And the other thing is I'll talk about Flylady Friday, and the main thing I wanted to do was a little update on zone work for this week. This week we've been working zone 4, zone 4, which is the master bedroom, your wardrobe, or you know, if you've got a walk-in closet, maybe you've got an ensuite bathroom. This is the week that we're working on that. And I told you this week, and I'm being honest here, my zone work, I spend 15 minutes usually at the beginning of the week. You know, I set my timer and I do 15 minutes in this room, and you've seen me doing that. All my videos about here, you've seen me doing, you know, dusting off the ceilings with my feather duster on a stick. I do the flat surfaces. I clean the inside of the windows. It takes minutes. You've seen me doing squish squish. Oh, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen that this week the window cleaner came. He does the outside windows. We have a lot of windows. We've got a 3-story house, and he's got some special equipment and the poles and the ladders, and so and I put a wee video about, you know, how he does that. So anyway, so the outside of the windows are done. And that is basically me for the week in this zone. The only other thing that I do in here is give a really good vacuum. And I get a lot of questions about vacuuming the bedroom. Now, listen here. Don't go by what I'm doing or stick rigidly to what it says in the Flylady website. You've got to take the system and think about your needs. Don't focus on how many times I vacuum my bedroom. Think about your circumstances. Here in Scandinavia, we take off our shoes at the door. People don't wear shoes that they've been outside in the garden inside the house. It's not like that here. So we take off our shoes at the door. Our bedrooms are all on the first floor. We don't have any animals up here on the first floor. You know, we've got the birds, Tweet and Sparky, who are in the garden room. But we don't have cats who are shedding hair. We don't eat food in our bedrooms. You know, we're not making crumbs. When we eat in the kitchen or outside on the deck. We don't eat inside the house. We eat biscuits in the living room, but that's basically it. So we don't have much. You know, we don't have a problem with things needing vacuumed in here. So I vacuum, I give it a really good detail vacuum when I'm in the zone, and then often when I'm doing, you know, the hall or the bathroom next door, when I've got the vacuum, when I've got the hoover out for that, I'll give a quick hoover in here. I don't need to do it every single week or 3 times a week. You've got to take the system and think what works for you, okay? Because I get so many questions saying, how much time should I spend on this? It's like saying to me, you know, how long is a piece of string? I can't tell you how long your morning routine will take, or I can't tell you how long your evening routine will take, but I can tell you that you should have it written down, whether it's on an app or a piece of paper, and use a timer so that it's keeping you focused on the task. If you're finding that your morning routine is taking hours and hours and you're not getting things done because you're going off to do something else, go back to, I made a whole week of videos where I walked you through what was important in your routines, what to focus on, whether you're working outside the house or whether you're working inside the house, whether you're retired, whether you've got small kids. It's on a playlist. I think it was called the 7-Day Routine Challenge. I'll put a link up there. So anyway, I haven't done any other cleaning in zone 4 this week, but I want to give you an update of what I've been decluttering. Now, again, I showed you on Monday, and I decluttered some items right there and then. And you've seen that this bag lives in the bottom of the wardrobe. And I keep it there because every time I'm in this zone, or every time actually basically I'm in the room, I'm thinking, you know, if I open a drawer and see some, I don't know, makeup brushes that I'm not using, or maybe I'm looking at my outfit for the next day. And I've told you this before, part of my morning routine is when I fold laundry and put it away in the cupboard, you know, in the wardrobe, I look at my outfit for the next day, and here's the proof. This is what I'm wearing tomorrow, which is one of the items from the clothes swap. Do you remember the t-shirt? And this is this is a really great necklace that I found in a charity shop. It actually has 3 big chains on it, and it's just a kind of plastic thing, so I use that for a lot of stuff. Anyway, when I'm in here putting my stuff away, if I find a t-shirt or a sweater or something that I'm not wearing, loving, using, and I don't see me using it, soon, into the bag it goes for a next clothes swap, or it goes to the charity shop, or to the refugee centre. So I'm constantly having a look at that. When I do my decluttering, I'm not spending 15 minutes working on a thing. It's just as I see it. And I wanted to show you what I have found to declutter since Monday, because I know a lot of you find the thought process useful. So anyway, let's dive into it. So I was just, and this week we've had good weather, so I've been able to wear some of my summer things, and you'll probably notice I have this dress also in red. I love this dress. I've been able to look at my summer things and really think, I'm actually going to wear it next time it's hot in Denmark or on holidays. So this is what I've come up with, and it's all going straight into the bag for the next clothes swap. So this is a skirt that I took from the clothes swap three clothes swaps ago, and I've decided that skirts. I'm just not a skirt person. I'm either in jeans or trousers when the weather is mixed, or as soon as it's summer, I like to be in a dress. It's like one piece, I'm ready to go, and I'm not kind of tucking things in. I get too hot, not around the collar, but I get too hot around the waist. So this one is going back, and proof in point, I wore a skirt yesterday, and I've actually got it hanging here at the window to air. Also, I've told you this before, I don't wash things after one wear. I hang them up to air. If I can get them outside, that's great. And if you can't hang them up outside, maybe you can just hang them to air in the bathroom or something. But this is the skirt that I had on yesterday, and I like the skirt, but I'm just not, I'm basically not a skirt person, so I think I've got like 3 or 4 skirts, and that is it. But I like this one. So this one is airing, and then once it's aired today, it goes back in the wardrobe. So don't go over washing your clothes. Right, another couple of things that I found. This was kind of summer top, and I got it at a charity shop last year, but it's just, I don't know, the checks are too much. I like stripes, but I've worn it once or twice, and it's just not me. And it does look nice with white, but just with my hair and everything going on, it's too busy. I think if I was a type 1-3 in the Dressing Your Truth system, I would maybe enjoy that more, but it's too much going on. Right, and this was another one of the fun ones that I picked up. I think it was at the charity shop in Sweden, where you kind of, get your goggles on and dive into the big bin of clothing. And I took it for fun, and it is fun, and it's a neon type 1 top, but I'm not going to wear it. So that is going to the clothes swap. This is one that came from the clothes swap, a really nice midnight blue top, and it was very flowy, but I'm finding it's just too flowy, and I've got a really nice navy top with ruffles that I prefer. So this is going back to the clothes swap, and one of the ladies will like that, because navy is kind of a great colour for a lot of people. Oh, this is one that I've had forever. I think it was Vibeke that gave it to me, and it's from J. Crew, and it's a really nice silk, but it's just too kind of blah now. And I enjoyed wearing it for, I mean, I've had this for 4 or 5 years now. You've probably seen me wearing it in some old videos. Oh, it's always funny when I look back at my old videos now and think, anyway. A sweatshirt also, which is just kind of too black. It's kind of lost its colour a bit now, and I don't want to go to the bother of you know, dyeing it. Some things I will dye, but I'm not caring about that one. This is a long top, which I quite liked, and I could belt it, but I find that the material is just too, it gets too wrinkly, and it's not crisp enough for me as a type 1-4 in dressing your truth. And if you don't know what dressing your truth, oh hold on, my necklace is kind of not hanging right. If you don't know what dressing your truth is, you go to dressingyourtruth.com, and there's a free, they've made a new free course with some new videos. It's really fantastic. So if you've been sitting on the fence about your type, the new videos will probably really help you. Remember, it's facial profile and not the personality thing, because I went down that road and took a wrong turn. This one, which was one from the clothes swap, a year ago, 2 years ago, and while it's nice, it's a bit too kind of too nice for me. I've worn it a couple of times, but I'm not saying when I wear it. This is an old one of mine. I've worn it to death and I'm kind of bored of it. And this is another old basic top that I had, but the neckline and the sleeves doesn't work for me, so that is going. So I've really been going through things with a fresh eye this summer, and this is a blue woolen sweater. It's quite nice, but again, it's not got enough shape for me. Because even if things are correct for you in your dressing your truth type, you know, even if the colours are correct, it's very much what your secondary energy is, you know, whether it really feels like you, or as I said, with some of the things, like this one coming up. This is one that Susanna brought to one of the clothes swap parties, and she had me in mind because she knows that I'm a type 1. She also does dressing your truth. Not many of the ladies really know about dressing your truth, but some of them do. And she brought this one and said, oh, you know, it's a type 1 colour, and while it is nice, it feels too heavy. But I'm thinking, if I was a type 1-3 in the dressing your truth system, I might like this, but it just feels too heavy in my body. It's a really heavy knit. So that's, in fact, that one, I'm going to ask Susanna if she would like it back or wants to give it to somebody else, because she kind of brought that with me in mind. So that's not going to go into the main clothes swap party bag, that's going to go somewhere else. And then I had this kind of boiler suit dress thing, and now I've got my new blue dungarees that you may have seen me wearing in the video when I went to Aarhus, which I'm really pleased with. So this one is going to clothes swap party, and I've just tied on the belt to make sure it doesn't, you know, it doesn't get lost at the party. And then, I mean, how many items? I hope you're keeping track of the items. I haven't been keeping track. And this one, now I've shown you this before, this is from a days when I worked at the Court of Justice of the European Communities in Luxembourg. I worked for Sir David Edward, who's the British judge. And this is, I had this from Jésiré. Remember I mentioned I got a really nice top from the clothes swap party from Jésiré. Now I wore this, and it's like a kind of suit dress, and I had a little skirt, and I can tell you probably the last time I wore it was when I went to a premiere of one of the Bond movies, and I went as Miss Moneypenny, and I had this on, and I was all kind of with my little, my little blouse, and I looked very prim and proper, and I even took along my portable typewriter with me. It was a kind of fancy dress thing for the premiere. Anyway, this is finally going to go. So how old is that? Let me see. Because I left the court 20 years ago, and I was at the court for 10 years. So we're talking maybe between 25 and 30 years old. But hey, Jésiré is a good brand, and it just shows you, that the good brands, they last forever. So that is finally going. Goodbye. fun memories, but I'll always have the video where I've been talking about it. Okay, oh, and another couple of things. Oh, can't see things from my pom-poms. Remember the bed head thing that I took from the close up party? I've tried it a few days. It really is not great for my hair. So that's going back, and I have a bag here. I have one of those IKEA bags, and this is where I put any, you know, jewellery. I've got also something. I've already got some jewellery in here. So that's going to go into the bag, and I also had this little. It's a fake pearl necklace, so that's going as well. But what I did like from the close swap party is this one. So I'm really pleased I took that one. The other one didn't work for me, so it goes back. So again, you know, even if you're getting things from close swap parties or charity shops, if it doesn't work for you, you know, just don't hang on to it, you know, and pass it back. Now, one or two last things. What's the time? What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Do you remember this one that I showed you? And I wasn't sure. I tried it, and actually I really like it. This is one that Vibeke gave to me last year. So I may be wearing this soon. I wasn't sure kind of about the brown, but now that I'm more embracing chocolate brown, I will be keeping this one. So out of all the things, I don't know how many items have I decluttered there since the beginning of the week. Maybe 15, 16. And then I've got one last dress, which I'm not quite sure about. This also is one that Vibeke gave to me when she was having a clear. She always gives me first dibs on stuff. Now this is a dress, a summer dress, and you see it's got a V back with a little thing on the back. And it's nice T1 colours, but I was feeling the shape is a bit shapeless. And I'm going to try it if the weather holds this week, because it's quite nice. I really like you know, the T1 turquoise. I love turquoise, and I was thinking, what can I do to improve the shape of it? So I found, you know, if you've got a belt that belongs to something else, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I get a belt with maybe a pair of trousers, and I don't like it with a pair of trousers. You know, maybe you can make it work with something else. So I found this, and I was thinking this would look quite nice. Well, let me just get it tied. This is a belt from another dress. I'll show you that dress in a minute. I'll just tie it like this so you can kind of see. I was thinking it'll look quite nice tied at the waist. I like to have things like this one. This has got a little tie belt on it. It's actually supposed to be tied in a bow at the back, but I think it makes my bottom, my bahookie, look even bigger. So I like to tie it at the waist because I've got a small waist, but big hips. I'm pear shape, so I like to show off my waist and camouflage the hips. So I'm thinking that might work, and so I'm looking forward to trying that. And I'll just show you where this belt came with, because I took this belt off the dress that it came with, because it didn't work for me. Get it. Right, oh, here we are, yeah. And I wore this one. This is the dress that you saw me wearing, 2 weeks ago, and it came with that very light belt. And it's a beautiful dress, but I felt like with the little tiny white belt, I was kind of floating away. I'm a type 1-4, so I like kind of heavier jewellery. I like the bright and the more kind of bold colours on the T1 palette. So what I decided to do with it, and it's a really nice dress, it's a basic one from H&M, and I love basic dresses that you can dress up or down and use, you know, during the day, if I'm down for a swim, or use if I'm going out in the evening. And I wore it in the video, I think, with a navy blue belt. And also, I could wear it with, now this is a pink belt that came with a pair of trousers that I don't want to wear with the trousers, but it would look nice with my pink tassel earrings, and this, you know, just for during the day. And then if I'm going out, so just grab my bling bling necklace. Also I can kind of dress up with I've got some gold sandals, a bit higher sandals. No, I wear flats all the time, but if I'm going out, I'll wear, you know, my high sandals. and you know, a winter white jacket, and it can look quite glamorous. And the other thing I did with the dress, because this is like a really long dress, I just it was coming down. It was almost kind of between my knee and my ankle. That's too long for me. I like things just below the knee. But because it was just a very nice, it's basically a kind of jersey material, I just took my scissors to it, and I didn't even have to hem or anything, and I just chopped it off. So, and just make things work for you. Remember, I've also mentioned this before, if you kind of hate shopping, you know, you really don't like going around the stores or going to the stores, it's maybe the stores aren't working for you, or it's not, you know, they're not built for your shape, or they're not built for you as like a type 2 or a type 3, type 4 in the dressing your truth system. I'll proof and point. I hardly ever go buy clothes these days because I get so many fantastic things at the clothes swap parties. But when I do, I like to go into the department store where they've got all the brands and I can look at all the options. Now, I'm a type 1. Now, my daughter, she's a type 4, and she doesn't, she finds that really overwhelming going in, and there's all the different stuff. But we know now which brands cater for her style. She's a type 4, and at least here in Denmark and in Scandinavia, places like And Other Stories, Koss, Arcade, those stores are her kind of go-to things, or Zara. And I'm the same. If I'm looking for like a new summer top or something like that, I know that Zara has my style of clothing. It's quite simple, but the colours can be quite fresh. So think about where you are shopping. If you're not finding stuff in stores, maybe have a wee look and see, you know, what is your style. Are you maybe you're a type 3 in the dressing your truth system, and you like things a bit chunky. You have to kind of find out, you know that thing of saying find your tribe. I really don't like that expression. Anyway, you know, find that kind of store that has your vibe. So for example, for me, if my go-to store is Zara, and that's usually where if I'm needing something new, I will find it, or somewhere like H&M or Mango. Those are my kind of go-to places. Now, on the other hand, we've done all the decluttering, so let's get that out of the way. And I also wanted to do a quick check-in with you about this weekend, and also Flylady Friday. If you saw on Instagram yesterday, I filled up my car yesterday when I was out doing my I was running some errands. I went to the recycling centre, I handed in books to the book exchange, I went to the library, and when I was out in the car, because I had heavy stuff in the car, I stopped off and I filled up the car, and also gave it a quick rinse on the window screens, because you know they've got buckets there with hot soapy water and stuff. So I did that there. And yesterday morning I was out doing my grocery shop, and I did that when I was on my bike. When I cycled back home from my skinny dip, yes, it's naked swimming all year round, winter bathing, I've done a video on that. When I cycled back from a skinny dip yesterday with Vibeke and Helena, I stopped off, there's a supermarket on my way back through the village, and I got my groceries there. So that was my Thursday. And today, Friday, I've already cleaned the car. And actually, when I was at the recycling centre, we have a kind of little valley area where you can vacuum the car for free and give it a wee tidy out. So I did that as well. Today, I will be going through my handbag, taking out any receipts. What else? And tonight, my husband isn't home tonight because, I said to you, in Denmark, there's so many summer parties going on. In his office, there's a summer party. A lot of Danish firms will have summer party. There'll be the Christmas party. You know, they're always partying. So my husband is out for that. This weekend, we will start hearing the trucks. You know, for the kids who are finished high school. You know, the party trucks. Plus, on Sunday, it's Sankt Hans Aften, which is when the Danes, big tradition with this, they send the witches back, flying back to Germany. It's an old tradition, and involves bonfires and singing the summer hymn. It's a bit like, you know, kind of summer solstice thing. Anyway, I made a video about that. Was it last year, the year before? Anyway, I'll put a link to it. And because I think I made a video about the St. Hen's tradition. This is the one that we have in our garden. St. Hen's, which is St. John's, it's St. John's Eve. Oh, hold on, I've got the window open because it's so humid today. Thank you. I think the video that I made was actually about the student trucks, and they drive they drive round from about 10 in the morning till 2 a.m. in the morning with the music going, and it's so much fun. I love this time of year. And what else was I going to mention? Oh yeah, and yesterday I finally put up my video about me going to the Northside Music Festival. Now, I know a lot of you are not into music, but again, what is your thing? I mentioned the other day about books. You know, I was going through what I'm reading at the moment, and I showed you what my husband, the latest batch of books that he got. And, you know, find your thing. You know, my husband loves books, and he was I actually had just put this in the paper recycling, that this is from a book club in Denmark. But so I just turned it in half. It's going in the recycling. But my husband was at the Danish Royal Library. If you've been in Denmark, you know the Black Diamond building. My husband was at the Royal Library the other night because Siri Hustville, I don't know if you know who she is. Not an author that I read. She and her husband, they're both authors. Paul Auster, you may have heard of him. Well, she was giving a talk at the Royal Library here. She's very popular in Denmark. And also saw there's actually a book festival going on in Aarhus right now with Mario Vargas Llosa, Siri Hustvit, she's appearing there, Claes Östergren, Samantha Schweblin, anyway, you can read the names there. So find out what's your thing. My husband loves to go to these book festivals. There's a huge one in Denmark, in Copenhagen, not in Copenhagen, but up north at Louisiana, which is one of our art museums. Really, really popular one I think it's at the end of August. So find out what's your thing. I mean, the whole point of doing this Flylady stuff, of getting the house in order, of, you know, having routines for things, is to free up your time so that you can go off and do the fun stuff, you know, and be able to go off and do stuff on your own, or for the kids to be able to invite friends over and just not have that feeling of, oh, you can't do anything because you're not sure what you're meant to be doing. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to get going because I have a lot going on today, Friday. I'll see you on Instagram over the weekend. Let me just check if I missed anything. No, I think we've got everything. So anyway, live long and prosper. May the Danish witchy hoogie be with you. And I'll probably see you on Monday morning. Okay, bye for now.